stunning looks than swift.
Here we go again. India versus Pakistan, as the eyes of the cricketing world shall be focused on Ahmedabad. This contest is a little different. In previous World Cup editions, India have been favourites. India have had the better form at the 2-game mark point. Both teams look very good. So all to play for in Ahmedabad on Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricinfo Matchday. Anil Kumble has kept a close eye on India from studio, Pakistan from studio. Aaron Finch has been all over the country as he joins us as well. Welcome, Finchy.
Thank you.
And now, is it fair to say, Anil, that this is a contest where both teams are entering in the same run of form and therefore this makes it a more equal contest? Or do you still have a team that goes in as favourites?
Yeah, I think India certainly goes in as favourites. Pakistan have done well. I mean, they certainly batted really well against Sri Lanka. Remember this, Sri Lanka scored 340. They should have got 370, probably 375. So in that sense, Pakistan certainly have done well. But India literally, from a precarious position against Australia, went on to win comfortably. And also against Afghanistan, they just literally demolished Afghanistan with the batting and also with the bowling on a good surface.
Yeah, one would think that Pakistan, perhaps the easier run-in with Netherlands and Sri Lanka, but they had to do difficult things in those two games. Are they battle-hardened now from what you've seen of this Pakistan side? Are they better than what they look like in the Asia Cup?
Oh, I think there'd still be a few question marks. I think that first game for the top order to get knocked over on what was a pretty docile wicket at Hyderabad, to go 3 down early, then rely on Rizwan and Saud Shakil to get them out of trouble. But the positive that I do like, Babar hasn't got runs yet. Imam ul Haq, he averages around 50 for a reason. He's a good player. So they haven't fired. Still some uncertainty with that second opener leading into the tournament with Fakhar Zaman playing the first game. Then Shafiq, I think he's a quality player for a really good player for a young kid. And India, I think they've just got too much firepower and too much consistency across the board. Yeah,
I mean, there's no dropping Shafiq after 100 now, but you never know at times. Do you expect a change though? Imam ul Haq should keep his place, and I don't see any other changes being prompted from what we've sseen.
No, I think he should keep his place. You don't see too many changes. I doubt whether Pakistan will make any change. Bring Fakhar Zaman again for Imam ul Haq. That's the only change that you can expect, but I doubt.
Unlikely. India tossing between Shardul and Ashwin depending on the conditions. England, New Zealand at Ahmedabad, did it give us any indication of whether they'd rather go a spinner extra or a seamer or extra?
I think that the two quality spin that India have got, I don't think there's any need to try and force that. But saying that, the way that they're structuring up their team with Hardik Pandya bowling more now, they can go either way and still be really comfortable to not have to force 10 overs out of the third spinner or the third or fourth quick as well. So that can be really shared and they can structure up really well. So I'd expect them to probably go with Shardul in these conditions.
Yeah, I guess that's what they showed in Delhi as well. Shardul doesn't have to bowl his 10. But Shardul in Ahmedabad over Ashwin in Ahmedabad versus Pakistan?
I think Shardul probably, looking at the conditions that we saw in that game where New Zealand played. So yes, I think it'll be Shardul ahead of Ashwin.
Let's just talk about the point of difference and what this game could come down to. Bumrah's in great form. The middle order is in great form. Kuldeep's looking good. Where do you see this game effectively being decided, Anil?
Oh, between the first 10 overs for India batting. If Pakistan don't get wickets, we know that their bowling attack isn't great after that, because the middle overs, they've been very ordinary. They came back, they pulled it back against Sri Lanka towards the end, but their spinners haven't really, you don't have to worry too much about the spin. So that's where it is. I think in the first 10 overs, India will be looking to just play normal cricket and not necessarily, if you can avoid giving wickets early on, then I think it's game on India. So India, in terms of the bowling attack itself, I mean, the two spinners, even if Ashwin doesn't play, Kuldeep and Jadeja will be very handy for the Pakistan batters. Like Finchy mentioned, Babar Azam not scoring runs for Pakistan, yet they are doing well, certainly is a positive thing. And if Babar can score runs for them, then the batting looks really strong. But otherwise, I think the bowling is where they will find it difficult if they don't pick early wickets.
Yeah, I guess that point is effectively means Shaheen Shah Afridi sets this game up, and somehow Shaheen Shah Afridi's not quite had the blazing impact in the opening two games Then again, this is a big game. Do you sense he sometimes goes missing? Pakistan needs Shaheen Afridi to be at his best. Is there anything they can take from the opening game in Ahmedabad to have an impact in a game like this?
I think he's such a quality bowler that most teams who have got a left-arm swing bowler at the start rely on them to get wickets. You look at New Zealand's success over the years, Australia's success in World Cups, Stark and bowled up front.
Yeah.
I mean, he's such a huge player for them and he sets the tone. The ball hasn't swung as much in this tournament, particularly in the first innings as what we've seen in the past. So for me, if he doesn't swing the ball, then Rohit, that probably takes away the number one attack for Pakistan to be able to swing the ball back to him and Virat early on. So it's a huge one. But I'll just touch on what Anil said. The Shadab Khan over the last couple of years, he's just owned the top of the stumps, enough spin either way. He's just bowling so many full tosses or drag downs at the moment. So they're not able to build pressure through that middle part. That means that Haris Rauf and Shaheen, they have to force it more with that new ball or in that first 10 overs because they know that they're not going to be able to contain through the middle. So maybe it's leaking a little bit at both ends.
Win the toss and at Ahmedabad?
Oh, it depends on the surface.
But if we get something similar to what we saw in the opening game, is chasing a significant advantage?
Yeah, I think so. I think, if you feel that the wicket's going to be the same and there could be some dew, then chasing could be. But against Pakistan, if the surface is really true, get 300 plus and you should be able to put pressure.
Yep, Finchi, on that?
Yeah, I agree with that. It's been really interesting to talk to the captains and coaches of all the teams at the games that I've been at. The days before when they've been training at the grounds, everyone said, there's been no dew, so we'll probably look to bat first, or we would have batted first, and then heavy dews come in. Last night it was the 30th over mark in the Australian second innings.
Yep.
It was absolutely soaked out there. Obviously the damage had been done in that first 20 overs of the game, so it's just been really inconsistent. During IPL times, the dew comes in consistently, so you know what's going to happen. Just a little bit of unknown, I think, creates some doubt in teams' thinking at times.
In which case, I guess chasing again would be what both captains would prefer.
And India are so accomplished chasing, and I think one of the big differences between the two teams is India seem to handle the bigger moments in World Cups better, especially between these two. There's a lot of emotion, there's a lot of passion, people can be pumped up, but India seem to be able to calm themselves down and get into the contest a little bit quicker than Pakistan generally.
Yeah, and I guess the win over Australia would have only helped. So that's where we leave it, and we leave the rest of the chat for matchday itself. Thank you very much, Anil Kumble, Aaron Finch, and we will have both Anil and Finchi for build-up to that game. It's 1:15 if you're in our part of the world, so join us then for Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricinfo Matchday.
Stunning looks, then swift